guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Stephanie. I'm coming to you post surgery. I am in a bit of pain, but doing okay. So we're gonna go ahead and do another random pick and get this physical TBR number down. I unfortunately did add 6 new books. Terrible. So anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and do the random number pick again and see what book we're gonna be reading next. I was wondering if I should do multiple books, but then I don't want to get overwhelmed, I guess, and possibly get into like a book slump or anything. So I think for now we're gonna go ahead and keep it just one book at a time. Okay, so I got the Google, and let's go ahead and change this to 414 books. Now I'm gonna go ahead and press the generate. 122. Okay, so I'm gonna go find book 122 and see what we get. So be right back. Hey, it's a good one. It's the one that I've been wanting to read for forever and I still couldn't get to it, but it's Wayward by Amelia Hart. Yeah, this has been one that I kind of started a few chapters in but never got to finish it because my audiobook got returned back to, you know, the Libby app. So I was like, well, I'll get back to it when I can. But yeah, I'm gonna read this. This is awesome. Since I'm laying low this week and kind of trying to take it easy, yeah, so I'm gonna read that, and then I'm also going to put a little bit of ambiance in here. Since I have the house to myself this morning, kids are at school, husband's working, I have the day off, just trying to recover, so it's gonna be a good day. And because it's not a very long book, I think I can finish this today, hopefully. That will be the goal. So 323. And then also I was thinking about my TBR. What am I going to read? Who knows? But what I've been thinking lately is, let me just go ahead and, instead of trying to put myself in this thing where I have to commit to these books, and sometimes, most of the times, it doesn't work out. So I'm going to try to just read the books that become available through audiobook, through my Libby app, and then just try to get through them that way, rather than putting these expectations on myself and then come to find out it's didn't work out at all. So we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna start to do that as well. I'm gonna go ahead and start this and see what we think about it. Read the first couple of chapters because it's been a couple of months since I read the first few chapters. So I'm gonna start this and I will let you know my thoughts once I do. So here we go. I'm gonna do a bit of a quick overview of what's happening in the story. I'm on chapter 6, and we are following 3 different women in 3 different timelines. So we are following Alpha. She is in the year 1619, and she's being put on trial for the murder of a man. So where we're at right now, she's just being brought to the judge, and they asking her, how do you plead? And she said, well, not guilty. So that's where we left off on her story. And then we're also following Kate, and she is in the timeline of 2019. And right now she's trying to escape the abusiveness from her husband. And so she's trying to plan her escape. So that's where we're at there. It is a very intense story. So trigger warning for those who need it. This does have mentions of abuse, physical abuse from a spouse. So that is Kate's story. So where we're at, she's just trying to escape and trying to get away from him. And then we're also following Violet, and she is in the year 1942. So this is the 3rd and final timeline that we're going to be following in this story. And she is pretty much doesn't want to follow the norms of what a woman should do. That she needs to be married off, she needs to be a homemaker and take care of the kids and not learn anything, not study anything, but that's not what she wants. She seems like a very strong-willed girl who just wants to learn, just like her brother, and study and be a scientist. So they did mention something about her possibly having some sort of a weird connection to animals, possibly like talking to them. So hopefully we can get more information on that. But other than that, I made myself some coffee, and I'm going to keep reading and diving into these women's stories that seem very interesting. And yeah, I want to see where this goes. I want to see how these women are all connected. I want to say that they are all part of the same bloodline, of women. Just we're following them in different times. And so yeah, so we'll see how this goes. Other than that, it's been great. I really like it a lot. I really like this 3 different point of views. We're following the same bloodline type thing, so it's pretty good. At times definitely a little intense, especially with Kate's story. So again, be wary of that beforehand. Make sure you read up on the trigger warnings if you are uncomfortable. Okay, my battery died, so cool. So yeah, just be wary of trigger warnings. Make sure you're aware of them before you start to read this book. So yes, as I was saying before I got cut off, I'm going to continue reading the story, and I will let you know my thoughts. Hopefully we get some answers in regards to some of the characters. Definitely want to see where this trial goes for Alpha and see what events happen to lead up to this. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and keep drinking my coffee and keep listening. guys, so I made it to chapter 28, page 185. So let's go over a little bit of what I've read so far. Take this out because then I feel like it's messing me up. Anyways, so far we're following Violet, who's in 1942 timeline, Alpha in 1619, and then Kate, present time 2019. So Violet, it seems like she's on a quest. She's trying to find out what's happening in regards to her mom. Like, she doesn't really get clear answers, neither from like her nanny that has been there since she was born. Her father doesn't talk about her mom, like her brother doesn't talk about her mom. So she's just trying to see what is going on. Why is there such a mystery over her mom and why they treat her so differently, you know, in regards to that. So she's trying to find out some truths. She also has a cousin that is visiting who, you know, his intentions are not, they're not quite clear, not quite known, and, you know, possibly not great. So yeah, it is, so far it's been a heavy story in regards to what's been happening with Violet. So yes, I don't believe it has any trigger warnings in the beginning of the book. So again, I want you to know that there are trigger warnings for rape, sexual assault, physical abuse by a spouse, and that's where we're at right now. In regards to those type of warnings, I don't know obviously what else I'm gonna encounter, but I'm coming up to the last portion of the book, so I'm hoping to finish here within an hour and a half, I believe is the audio book. I guess the speed that I'm going at. And then we have Alpha. She's on trial for the death of her childhood best friend's husband's death. Sorry, that was a lot. It was a mouthful. Pretty much she's being accused of killing her once upon a time friend's husband. They've been gathering like a bunch of witnesses right now, so they've been kind of testifying in regards to how everything happened and why they think it was her. Unfortunately, her and this childhood friend, Grace, they haven't spoken in over 8 years after a tragedy happened, that I obviously don't want to spoil, so I won't say anything. But yeah, so she's kind of just going through this trial. She had her mother pass away, and she's been going through a lot of things, and then this on top of it, it's really like, you can tell like she is not in the best mental place. So you definitely get a lot of her thoughts in regards to that. So it is quite sad. But that's where we're at right now. They haven't said whether she has been accused or not, if she's guilty or not. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. And then we have Kate, who I mentioned, running away from her abusive spouse. She inherits it's called the Wayward Cottage in Crowsbeck, and this is from like a great aunt, but she kept it secret, especially after her husband obviously started portraying and saying some things that really had her worried even more. He was already a bad guy, but now like he's saying a lot of things that are kind of taking it to another level. So she's like, I can't do this anymore. So she started like tucking away, you know, some money. She started this home that she inherited. She's like, let's keep the secret. Let's not talk about it. So if ever she needed to escape, she has that place to go to. And thankfully she does. She leaves, and now she's just trying to find out the history of, you know, who her Aunt Violet was. Why did she never meet her before? And then obviously now being inherited this home, this cottage, that has essentially become her, obviously her safe haven. So that's where we're at right now. She's just trying to find out her history of the Wayward women and her lineage, and the strange things that have been happening, you know, in her life recently, especially since she got there to the home. So other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and continue reading this. Put my little earpiece back on, and I'm gonna keep taking notes, and hopefully we will go ahead and get the conclusion of the story. I'm gonna again try to keep it as vague as possible because I don't want to spoil anything. I'm trying to leave out as much of the story as I can, because obviously you want an element of surprise, and you want to also be able to experience this book. The words are very beautiful. I love the way it's written, and I think other people would enjoy this as well. Obviously, like I said, trigger warnings first and foremost. Before you even start this, definitely make sure you know what you're getting into, and make sure you're in a mental space to read this. You know, you don't want to come in here and think this is going to be a jolly cheero time. It's probably not going to be. So far, there's a lot of sad moments in here. So yeah, that's all I'll say for now. I'm gonna go ahead and keep on trucking along and keep reading and see what's happening to these women. So here we go. Okay guys, so I finished Wayward by Amelia Hart, and I have to say I gave it a 5-star. It was such a beautiful story. 3 individual stories, you know, following the same bloodline, but either way it just shows the strength of women in particular. And you know, I wouldn't say it's man bashing, but I would say there were not a lot of nice guys in this book. But all in all, I really loved everyone's stories. I loved Kate, Altha's, Violet's. It was all beautiful how they all connected together. It was great. And so I guess to conclude my last update about the book, Kate, obviously her past was pretty much catching up to her because, you know, she had escaped her abusive husband. So we see her kind of, you know, after these months that she's been away, you see her kind of come into her own and, you know, becoming her own person again after being stripped away by this man. And I keep saying husband, it's not her husband. I believe he's just a boyfriend. But either way, you know, he was just keeping her down and obviously not being very nice to her. So seeing her kind of not only grow, but also take back her life, and ultimately she becomes stronger, and it's just a beautiful story, and I loved it. And her story ended great, was well. It was everything. And Altha, we finally find out whether she was guilty or not, but then you also see her kind of go back through the events of, you know, leading up to the death of her childhood's friend, husband's death. So you kind of see how everything kind of plays out, and you know what led up to everything. Either way, her story was beautiful, and yeah, I liked how that wrapped up as well. And you know, how she pretty much moved on as well and became a strong woman because of it. And then we have Violet, who is the great aunt, as we come to find out, if it didn't already kind of click together. The great aunt of Kate. And, you know, she also, you know, after her dad kind of throws her out into the street pretty much and is like, okay, you're gonna go live at the same place that your mother lived, who we don't talk about and you don't really know about. But while in the cottage, the Wayward Cottage, you know, she learns who her mother was. She learns family secrets, and her story was definitely heavy. Again, I had mentioned some trigger warnings about this book, so on top of the ones that I've already mentioned, I also want to include you know, suicide ideation, attempts, miscarriages, abortion. So please be wary of those trigger warnings before you start to read this book. But all in all, in my opinion, it was a great story. It definitely showed the power of women and how resilient, you know, they can be. We can be. So yeah, I'm happy I finally got to read this because I'd put it off for so long, and I feel bad that I did that. So I am so glad that I went ahead and I finally finished, and I'm glad that the past two physical TBRs, they're off my list, guys. So from 414, we're now down to 412. So we're getting there. We are getting so close to finishing. No, definitely not. We're not close to finishing, but it feels like we're knocking off some books, and for that I'm happy. Other than that, I think my next book I'm gonna read, just because it is available on audiobook and I want to just do that. I think whatever audiobook becomes available, that's the book that I'm gonna read. That's the one that I'm gonna also choose to get off my physical TBR. That's gonna be Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I'm so excited. It's vampires, it's werewolves, it's marriage of convenience, I believe, and I'm all for it. I've heard a lot of good things, and it's Ali Hazelwood, so it's gonna be amazing. I can already tell. I'm already predicting a 5 stars, so there. Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and I think my next video I need to show you the book mail that I've received so far, which is a bit. They're all special edition pre-order books, so I definitely want to show those off because there is a beautiful set that came in last week and I am so excited to share. Hopefully by then my shoulder should feel a little bit better in regards to pain wise and being able to kind of lift a little bit of heavy things. So yes, I'm excited. Other than that, that's it for me. I need to go. I need to go and rest. Thank you so much for coming and checking this video out if you are here. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please comment down below if you've also read this book. What were your thoughts? Follow me on my Instagram, Stephanies_little library, all lowercase. And see you next time. Bye.